Welcome to this video on full join using dplyr. Let's say we got two tables, table 1 and table 2, which has some data, and on both the tables we have the patient ID, which can be used as a key. So let's see what's going to happen in the final output table. So looking at the first record on table 1 as well as on table 2, we have P001 as the key, which matches, so the data gets copied in our final join table. Now similarly, let's go to the second row. P002 is the key, and that exists on the table 2 as well, so we copy the data. Now P003 exists only on table 1, it doesn't exist on table 2. So what happens? We still copy it because this is a full join. And similarly for the P004, which only exists on table 2, we would have to copy that as well. So let's create a full join using dplyr in RStudio. If you're new to our channel, you can watch our complete dplyr series. So we'll be using the package dplyr, and let's create a data frame called D1, which has patient ID for some patients, and then it has the age for the patients, and then it has the outcome for the patient, whether the patient died or survived. And let's create another data frame called D2, which again has patient ID as the key. And then we have the SBP, the systolic blood pressure, and the diastolic blood pressure DBP. So using these two tables, let's try to create our first full join. In the simplest form, we would provide just the name of the first data frame and the second data frame, and the command which we'll be using would be the full join command from dplyr. So I just want to show you that dplyr is smart enough to pick the keys automatically. You can see that it has joined the data by patient ID just because the same name existed in both the data frames. But in practical way, you would actually be providing your key by saying by equals your key. In our case, it's patient ID. So by equals patient ID, as you can see, and then we achieve the same results anyway. Now, what if your tables D1 and D2 has different patient IDs or different keys? For example, patient ID in the first table and pat ID in the second table. You would provide your syntax this way. So in the first example, we saw that the patient IDs were not being repeated. They were unique in both the tables. But what if the patient ID is being repeated again? For example, if I have 2 or 3 records for the same patient ID in one of our data frames, then what happens? So in this example, we'll see that. So D1 has 3 records, patient ID 1, 2, and 3. That's fine, the same as before. But now in D2, I'm going to repeat the patient ID 001 twice, so that there was 2 readings taken for the same patient. Patient 001 had 2 blood pressure readings. So how do we fix this? And what happens if we leave the data as it is? So let's first of all see the data as is. So we have the first data set being joined and the second data frame being joined by patient ID. And in this case, we see that we have 5 records. Patient ID 1 has been repeated twice. And if you don't want this, you want to choose just one record, you first of all define your criteria, whether you want the top one or the bottom one or the lowest one or the highest one. So in this case, I'm just arranging the data by a descending order of SBP. So the highest would be at the top, and then grouping it by the patient ID and then slicing it. So the top slice would be used. So we can see that it'll become unique after we do that. And now we're going to join the unique data frame. Instead of D2, we are using D2.unique. And in this case, we have only got one patient ID for each patient. You can watch our complete tutorial on dplyr on different aspects of slicing, mutating, joining, and various other action verbs on dplyr. I hope you found this information useful and practical. Thank you very much for watching it, and I'll see you in the next one.